What is going on tonight, guys? Chat Thursday, February 5th, 2026. Man, where is the time going here this winter already? Rocking a little Seahawks support this weekend. Should be a great game on Sunday. I don't even know what time it actually starts on Sunday, but it doesn't really matter. I'm sure we'll all know. Wait for a few more people to jump in here, and we'll get started. How's everybody doing tonight? I put a couple things in the chat there for, we have a new microphone, so let me know how that sounds. I can turn it up a little bit here. Does that help? Going this way. It's too distorted. I don't have a way to check this out on this end, so hopefully that is picking everybody up okay. Or picking me up, I should say, and everybody can hear okay. Got a couple of the marshalling buckets in the back on top of my, it's actually a C10 pickup box that we're using back there for a display shelf, so we kind of improvise here, which is pretty unique anyway. So last weekend, I'm sure a lot of you tried to follow, which doesn't seem like it was a great following for what they had for internet connection, or not really sure what was going on, but TNR was last weekend down there in California. 698 entries is what I saw, and so what I understand, why is my OBS? Looks like my OBS is, okay, hopefully it just punched up back on okay. I don't know, we had a little going down and coming back up, so hopefully it came up for you guys. Hold on here, I don't know why the video is not, doesn't seem like the video is showing here for some reason. Let me look at, not that one. What about this one right here? Oh yeah, right here. We should be fine, yep. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then get rid of that real quick. And over here we should have, yeah, this one right here, properties. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know why it's not showing up on the other side, but it should be right. Hopefully we got some video. It's not really showing up on my other end now either. But anyway, still be a talk here. So that's a lot of entries, and you know, kudos to Chris down there for putting on an event of that size. But unfortunately, it sounds like a lot of people were discouraged with the amount of practice time, qualifying time. Sounds like there was possibly some RD issues, which that happens anywhere. Doesn't matter if you're club racing, you know, mid couple hundred event, or something as big as, you know, of course, TNR and, you know, Silver State, any of those big ones, that can happen. Not sure what actually happened there, but I'd like to hear in the chat about like what we think for a 3-day race, which that's kind of what we're talking about up here in the Northwest. What do you guys think which should be the maximum number of entries that we have, or not even us, just like any event for a 3-day, and be able to get ample track time for what, you know, entry fees cost. You know, there's a lot of you know, behind the track costs, of course, of what it takes to, you know, even just run an event like that, depending on if it's a, you know, a rented facility, you know, your RD costs, your track build costs, if you have equipment that you have to pay for, all the awards, just any of those costs are just minimum that you have to be able to, you know, cover to, you know, at least break even, right? So what kind of numbers are we thinking about that you guys would like to see as kind of a cap on that? So I know you know, the Can-Am race was first year for that. You know, we of course didn't reach our goal for covering those costs, but one thing that, you know, a lot of people comment about says, hey, I know you guys didn't cover your costs, but one of the things that they appreciated was the amount of track time that these racers got through the weekend, especially on Friday, that they could go back, they could make changes, and they knew that they could get right back out there again on Friday to be able to do that. And of course, Saturday was not a long day. It made it nice for everybody to be able to go to dinner and do our Saturday night hangout that we usually try to do. And then Sunday, of course, you know, that was great. But we need to, you know, increase those numbers by next year. But besides that, just numbers that we want to see, you know, to break even, you know, and those are always around a couple hundred, you know. Honestly, I mean, this race that we do at the end of the season is to help support the rest of the races and the rest of the tracks that are part of the NCT. So that was the reason for that event, and to have a good indoor race at hopefully a time of year, early fall, that weather's starting to turn up here, and people still want to run their 8 scale and get some arena racing going on. So hopefully that can happen again here. And I don't know why my phone turned here, but anyway. Okay, there we go. So we can talk about that in a minute too, but one of the reasons why I put the Marshall buckets up back there is, you know, talking, you know, to some people that haven't been to one of the NCT races in the last couple of years is, you know, why that TQ bucket there and not a 1 is, you know, and you can do it during the first round if you have multiple heats, but after first round, we try to highlight the person that's holding into the second round. So people know that when you go out there to Marshall, you know, you can look around and maybe you don't know the face and you just know the car that took the TQ, but now that car is sitting over on a table and you're not really sure possibly who, you know, what that face was. Well, look for that black bucket with that TQ, and we work with the RD and the local you know, individual track and possibly even the track builder when we're on Friday, when we're talking about Marshall buckets, and try to position that TQ bucket, you know, appropriately for someone that's experienced, but also somewhere that, you know, isn't going to overwork that person that is more than likely been doing this for a while, and they've helped out in the background with fellow racers. And that's a little recognition that we want to do, and also come main event time, right? So then that TQ, that number 1 starting spot on the grid for the main event guy, and kind of highlight, you know, instead of just the number 1, which you could always replace that with the number 1, but TQ guy and the number 1 guy obviously is the same when it comes to the main event. So we think that's different. And talking to a few people that have raced, you know, maybe around the country or around the states, they've never seen that before. So that's a kind of unique thing. One of the unique things that the NCT does to, you know, highlight a racer that's obviously spent a lot of time and money and effort, you know, to critique their craft, if you want to use those terms, and you know, that's just a great thing. So marshalling, you know, we heard down at TNR this weekend, and it happens everywhere. I mean, we're talking a 698 entry race, and still heard about a problem with people either not marshalling, or they had assigned cones or buckets, in our case, but cones for down there, and the RD wasn't able to distinguish who was there and who was not there. So depending on what event, if they assign cones or numbers, we think that that's appropriate to go sit or stand at those, so then the RD can look around and say, okay, cone number 4 is not here, and what I have is this should be, whoever. James Johnson, we're going to throw you under the bus, James. And where are you at? And we want to make sure that, those cones and buckets get filled, because you want to marshal how you would want to be marshaled. So I think that's definitely important. No matter if you're club racing or you're at a big event, right? So one of the other announcements that we're doing this week, we're still working on that portal for the sign-ups that will be available here shortly. I actually have some time set aside tomorrow with the group that's helping get this going, and I'm not sure if we'll have it done by the weekend, but we have a lot in the background, and so hopefully that'll be upcoming, and there's some wait on that part of it until after we get it going. But one of the things that the NCT highlights is when you're a past champion from the year before, that class that you have won for that championship, that's a comped entry for that class for the next season at every event that you attend in that class. And something that I've been working on for a little bit is being able for them to have something that says, I am a champion. They all have trophies, but who wants to champion? They all have trophies, but who wants to? No one's going to carry around a trophy. And there's some people at some of the tracks that if they happen to sign up the day of the event, then this is an option that we'll have, and also, and I'll show you here kind of what the front of them look like. So this here is a business card size aluminum laser etched card, and this is the front, and I'll try to get one in the picture here. You guys can see it. So this one here is obviously for Ryan Chu for 40 plus nitro buggy, and on the back it's got a code. So the year, and then it kind of abbreviate, 40 plus nitro. The year, and then it kind of abbreviate, 40 plus nitro buggy. And what that code will only be able to be used 6 times throughout the season, but 1 time at each event. So that appropriate champion will be able to go online, put in that discount code, and then they can pre-register all the way through if they want to. These cards here, and we have I think 11 of them. I believe that's what we had for series supported classes last year. They will be handed out in Pasco for everybody, but we will make sure that everybody has that discount code available to them as soon as we get the portal up and going. And then at the end of the season, which this year is in Mondays as the race number 6 for the state line shootout, we will have some new cards for the 26 season. They will not have your name on them, but we'll have the class, and it will have a discount code, and so then that will be available to that person going into next year. So the 2 people that moved up, if you want to say, this year, one of them is Greg Kerr, right there. So he was a sportsman e-buggy champion last year, and he decided that he was going to move into So he was the, I believe he was, let's see, oh wait, that's Jake Pedersen, I apologize. So there you go, Jake, you got one right here. So Jason Rizika, he was the 2-wheel drive short course champion last year for 26, which is fine. We'll still have that discount code available when he tells us what class he'd like to move into, because the NCT is not, the tracks voted and decided that 2-wheel drive short course for the series would not be a series supported class. So, and if you also notice on there, we have the A+ Mobile Graphics. That is the group that's been helping behind the scenes, and the ones they designed this card that we have here and did the laser etching on it. So that's pretty unique, and these cards, like I say, I have a handful of them here for all the classes that were season champions, and we'll get those out there on a graphic here shortly, hopefully the next week or so, just to everybody knows. If you don't know who they are, know the individuals know who they are, but we think that's something unique, and they're lightweight, and they just fit right in your wallet. And if you come to the track and happen to be someone you don't recognize at the sign-up booth, and like I'm the defending champion, my name is Chase Johnsby Truggy, you just throw them this, and there's not that there would ever be an issue, but then at least then there's something that we have and you guys have that work together on the sign-up. So another thing that we're working on right now is, of course, myself and Casey up there at NORA. Is our classes for the season. We'll be talking about those on the 17th, I believe, is the next NORA meeting. So another week and a half or something, I think. I guess 2 weeks. What is today? 5th? Another about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're talking about doing probably a 50 plus, so a masters in the e-buggy and the nitro buggy. And then there's been an ask in the two-wheel drive, possibly doing something with a slash. So we will talk about that. 4 mod, mini truggy for a short course, and of course novice will be a 10th scale 2S. And then we'll talk about the slash, and I think we're going to have something in there about 5 of the similar vehicles show up, and that'll make a class on race day, and we'll come up with. We will have something, obviously, for daily weekend awards. Not sure what that's going to be for sure, and then we'll have something for sure for pictures for every event, and we'll get those shortly, and we can show those at some point through the NORA website, and then we can even put them on here, and then they'll be available once we get going. So still have some time. A lot of wet weather up here in the Northwest. We're gonna try to get going, early May on, still kind of looking officially for a few people that want to help out with that. So give us a message, contact Nora, contact myself on Facebook, or however you guys want to contact, and we can get that sorted out. And always need that club involvement, and people working on the track, they're going to get a comped entry for the club racing of that event that next weekend or that day, depending on what happens. So we believe that that's definitely what is appropriate for helping out. Get some free entry on that, help out the club, and help out that local racer. So I think we're caught up. The only other thing I'd like to add is, we have 2 more here. Kind of something that I want to show some recognition for here. And so the front of it is the same, but we have a person here, treasurer, Jamie Nash, right? And he does a lot behind the scenes. We talk quite a bit every week. And so a little inside joke for Jamie for his code, and a lot of people that have been around for the last couple of years know exactly what that code stands for. So that'll get a good laugh, and I'm sure he's over there in Idaho right now, laughing at this. So I think that's great that we did that. And then same thing. We have another one here that we're going to give, and this is the person that is our secretary this year. We changed that to make some more transparency. Kendall was doing it, and didn't want that to be any type of issue. I think there's 2 people, kind of the same household that are on the board. So Brooke Chu, thanks Brooke Chu for doing that. So I'm hoping that this card gets used by both you guys at every event. And I think Ryan knows exactly hopefully the reasoning that we picked that for the code for Brooke. So thanks Brooke and thanks Jamie for both you guys for doing what you do behind the scenes a lot. Both of them have, like myself, we all have full-time jobs, and I know what Brooke has going on right now with their job. It's a lot in the transition process they have to go on, but so she's making time for this NCT, and we definitely want to thank her. And if you see her or your friends there on Facebook or whatever, and a chat comes up, make sure she knows that she is appreciated. And we'll have a little more on the portal going on, and we're gonna definitely be trying it behind the scenes, make sure that it works correctly, and I'm sure it will. We'll worry about discount codes and how second and third entries go, because we have a breakdown as far as third entry goes, and like if it's a novice, and of course novices are all the same, but fourth, I believe it has a breakdown too. So anyway, just want to make sure all that stuff works correctly in the way that transfers funds. So anyway, we appreciate you guys being on, and we will talk again soon. Everybody go Seahawks and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. See ya.